Good evening and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to our webinar on transforming application lifecycle management with AI, precision, productivity, and prediction, scaling ALM with artificial intelligence. We are delighted to have all of you with us today. My name is Rijuta, your moderator for today's session. At the end of the webinar, we will have a Q&A session. So please keep your questions ready and feel free to type them in the chat box. We will take them one by one. Today, we are diving into one of the biggest challenges enterprises face, managing complex application life cycles while maintaining speed, quality, and predictability. As software ecosystems grow more complex, traditional ALM approaches struggle with manual requirement mapping, inconsistent code reviews, late stage release risks, rising microservices complexity. This is where artificial intelligence and agentic workflows are becoming true game changers. In the next few minutes, we will explore how AI brings predictive intelligence across the life cycle, from converting complex PRDs into actionable user stories, to automating testing, improving code quality, and proactively managing risks, helping organizations scale delivery with confidence. Can we change the slide, please? Our parent company, the Alton Group, is headquartered in France and has over 50,000 plus employees deployed globally. We have served more than 6,500 clients worldwide and continue to expand our global presence across 30 plus countries. The group reported a turnover of approximately $4 billion dollars in the last fiscal year. ACL Digital is a 100% wholly owned subsidiary of the Alton Group. With over 3 decades of industry presence, we have built strong expertise across multiple industry verticals. We have successfully supported Fortune 100, Fortune 500 organizations across digital commerce, health tech and med tech, retail tech, life sciences, telco and NEM, and edtech. Our customers include lending industry ISVs who further serve the provider ecosystem. Next slide, please. We are honored to be joined by three distinguished speakers today, Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan, Ms. Shraddha Dubey, and Ms. Nikita Hande. Lakshmi is head of data, AI, and Gen AI at ACL Digital. He is a strategic AI transformation leader with a proven track record of delivering over $20 million in digital value. He has led Gen AI driven automation, generating $22 million in savings with a 40% turnaround improvement, and is also a TEDx speaker and advisor to prestigious institutes like ISRO and IIMs. Shraddha is a technical architect, AI, Gen AI at ACL Digital with more than 11 years of expertise. She specializes in designing scalable enterprise grade AI solutions, LLM based autonomous agents, and end to end AI implementations in complex business environments, ensuring measurable ROI and strong security. Nikita is an AIML lead with 7.5 years of experience delivering enterprise AI solutions across finance, banking, HR, and QA domains. She specializes in machine learning, NLP, generative AI, and agentic AI with strong expertise in Azure based scalable and production ready deployments. Nikita leads AI architecture, technical strategy, and team mentorship, translating complex business challenges into high impact, secure AI solution. With that, I would now like to invite Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan to lead us into today's session. Over to you, Lakshmi.
Thank you, Rajita. So good evening, good morning, everyone. So it's an exciting topic for us, and we are happy to share our bit of experience in the market on what is happening to the ALM life cycle. With the AI, Gen AI coming into the picture, we see that there is a huge transformation that is happening in this domain. And we look forward to an engaging interactive webinar throughout. The agenda is as follows. We are going to talk about the reality of the software engineering, how things have changed over a period of time, and the high cost of traditional ALM, which is the core issue that we are trying to answer today, and how companies have started perceiving the hard truth, that is where the traditional ALM is breaking. We'll talk about it. And how AI, Gen AI can make a difference in this ALM domain. We will talk about it. And we'll also look at how an ALM manager or a software developer, development lifecycle manager, or a project manager, how the life of a manager changes with AI, Gen AI coming into picture, how the manager is able to show productivity gains. We will talk about it. And what exactly AI-powered ALM means in the market. Our experience with different customers, we would like to share it across today with all of you. So that's why Shraddha and Nikita, with their wealth of experience in delivery, they're going to share their perspectives on this. And finally, we'll talk about how we can help you in this entire life cycle. With that, we'll move on to the reality of software engineering. So software engineering has changed a lot in the recent past, but ALM has not. The traditional application lifecycle management or software development lifecycle in our IT world, it has remained the same. The stages of lifecycle development, the way we execute things, a lot of things are slowly changing, but the core still remains the same. The requirement to code gap, for example, the business intent, if you look at it, it gets diluted in the translation between user stories, meetings, and coordination. So it's been 20 years for me in the market. I still remember when I first joined the IT industry in 2005, the complex problem that is explained by the business user as a product owner to the customer, to the business analyst, many a times it gets lost in the transition. We miss it out either in the documentation or we miss it out while development. And the same old issue is still there in the market anyway. And the complexity of the systems are also growing. So cloud, API, microservices. There are so many things that have evolved in the recent past, and the distributed architectures have only complicated things, resulting in integration risk and dependencies. And obviously, if something gets missed out in the process, there is a high cost of poor quality. The late defects results in a lot of rework, loss of revenue. And of course, for some of the customers, for some of the IT service partners, it's also the reputational damage that it results in. So obviously, with the ALM coming into picture, the compliance also is increasing heavily day by day. And the expectations during the audit or quality check by the external party is also increasing. So the stricter regulations around GDPR, AI Act, all these aspects are only demanding more and more traceability, transparency, and accountability. So obviously, the same team which has been developing solutions using ALM as a process is expected to do more in the same time, or in fact, with productivity gains, with the kind of market pressure every company is in, they're expected to do more with less. So obviously, the engineering teams, the product engineering teams in different MNCs must deliver faster without the significant headcount growth. We used to say this, X to 10X with Y people to 2Y people. That's the expectation in the market in the software engineering space. Now, this is the reality today. And what is the hard truth? Let's look at it. Shraddha, moving on to the next slide.
And before we move on to the next one, let's have a small poll.
Yeah. You'll be seeing a poll on your screen. What's your opinion on this? Which part of the current software engineering reality keeps you up at night the most? I hope you are able to see the poll. We request you to select the options. Is this the business intent getting diluted? Or is this the growing system complexity? Or is it the rising cost of rework or late defects? Or pressure to do more with the same headcount? Whatever challenges that we saw in the previous slide, Let's see whether your opinions are resonating with our experience on the ground. We would like to check that. Thirty seconds more for the poll to get completed. I request you to share your views. Great. Two options are clear winners. Okay, we'll take a pause here. So we are seeing two options getting almost like 40%, 33% and 39%. One is growing system complexity, that is with 33%, and pressure to do more with the same headcount. That is, everyone needs a magic, isn't it? And the ALM managers or the project managers are expected to have a magic wand to get things done faster. That's exactly the reality in the market, isn't it, Shraddha?
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen it with our clients as well. Somehow the market thinks that AI is a one-stop shop for each and every work that is done. But we have also seen the miscalculated uh, implementations where people jump in headfirst with AI implementation without giving a proper thought through into it. So let's dig deeper into the next section, why the traditional ALM is currently struggling. Now, as we have moved on, what we just discussed, now we have modernized our ecosystem, where and how we work. We have gone away from Excels, but somehow those Excel pieces have been replaced with a lot more tools at every stage of your life cycle development. Think about requirements mapping. So you have your requirements written down into SharePoints, into Word documents, sometimes even in an Excel format. But then from there onwards, you have your user stories that's put on Jira. Your now code sits in Git. And then your CI/CD pipelines are different. Your test cases are stored separately. Now, when you think about the entire ALM piece, at every stage of ALM, you do have tools, but do these tools really talk to each other? No, it often does not. And hence, there is a lot of gap. There's still the ALM needs a lot of work, a lot of human interventions. There is a lot of manual process that you have to keep track as a project manager. You'll have to keep track of what are the requirements, how your code is happening, what's behaving, what's backlogs are, how do you prioritize, deprioritize. You go as a developer, again, you're struggling with how to match these requirements to what you have actually delivered. The test engineers, again, have to refer to multiple documents to create their test cases. And then, the entire piece often just revolves around a lot of manual work connecting multiple tools and technology. So have really a lot of tools simplified our lives, or have they made it more difficult with ever growing? So you have tools for DevOps, you have tools for security operations and everything. At the end of the day, you have to still sit and do all that work. So are we really utilizing the power of data for the best of our capabilities? Not really. So now, how has, yeah, Lakshmi,
No,
you
that's a
wanted to?
valid point. That's a valid point, Shraddha. In fact, when you speak about data, uh, even though we are part of the data and AI practice, we are seeing with the customers when we deal with the AI on the other side, especially on the ALM side, there is one common problem we are noticing. Many times the Jira is not updated. Many a times, even if the Jira is with updated information with the latest status and everything, we are not utilizing that data really well. So there is a famous joke around this, like there is data everywhere, but no data is giving you the right insights for you to run the ALM. That's the biggest problem in the market today. So I always talk about this framework like automation, analytics, and AI. Now, ALM lifecycle is automated with the help of certain tools, no doubt about it, which gives you a lot of data. But in fact, unfortunately, today in the market, people are not even looking at the data really. collect those insights and take some brilliant decisions, intelligent decisions with the help of the data. And then comes the AI part. But thanks to Gen AI, in the last 3 years, 4 years, we are seeing a lot of significant impact on this side, where with the help of data, with the help of task automations, we're able to see a significant impact here. So ALM as data, but not intelligence, is something which is resonating really well with me, with what we are seeing in the market. Yeah, back to you, Shraddha. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, you rightly pointed out that we do have a lot of data and everything is siloed. And humans have a certain set of capabilities, how much you can process data at one go and across how many different domains. You need one person sitting and sifting through all the phases of ALM. Difficult. Now, then what does AI bring into the picture? So, as we just discussed, there's so much of data directly from requirements gathering, code artifacts, test logs, defect reports. There's so much data. We just have to put everything together. Now, think in terms of increasing the capability of your existing engineers, plus making informed decisions better and faster. So let's divide this, how AI helps into three different segments. Think about requirement and discovery. We do a lot of conversation, as Lakshmi pointed out at the start of the webinar, that there are oftentimes detailed conversations, but things slip through the cracks. We do miss a lot of information, and not everything gets documented at one place. Even if you document in one document, by the time you go to the final requirements, preparations, some things still trickle down, and humans cannot remember everything. Can we use AI there? Yes. You take the help of AI to gather all the requirements, put everything together, create reports, document, and then augment that documentation with human understanding. That's where now you are releasing your initial PMs and project managers away from doing mundane task of recording everything, every meeting, taking notes in something. Let AI do it, and you take the executive decision of identifying what's correct, what should be there, what shouldn't be there, make more AI augmented decisions. Going to development and implementation, again, the same thing. Now, from the requirements, there's a complete pipeline. Now, you have all the requirements, create user stories. From user stories, you give it to your engineers the power to convert that. Now, I'm not saying that AI will completely generate your code, but it definitely can assist you to stick to the requirements exactly how has been identified from our requirement specification documents to your user stories and then to the code. And same thing you can do for testing as well. Your now PMs with the power of AI or your BAs can create exact models of test cases that should be performed on each and every feature. From there onwards, can translate into tests, unit test cases, or all different kind of tests. Going to the third and the final leg of any solution is once it's deployed, you have a lot of logs. Existing systems we know have alert mechanisms. They can give you snippets of your log where potentially is the issue and when the problem happened, and that's about it. That's where they stop. But you can definitely augment your logs with AI and saying, find out when the defect is happening, what time, is there a pattern? AI is good with these things. It can create a detailed report for you, and then your DevOps, SecOps engineers are now empowered with detailed idea and information of historical records, and they can make informed decisions. Your stakeholders are better looped in. Your discovery of what went wrong and how it went wrong is faster, and hence your remediation also comes way faster in that. So these are some of the areas that we have identified where AI really actually can help you in your entire ALM cycle.
So maybe one quick thing, if I would like to share here on the previous slide, is that the beauty here is till 3-4 years back, we were looking at only the structured data. The data that is captured in the form of reports and dashboards out of these ALM tools. That was the only source of intelligence for the managers to take decisions. But today, thanks to the power of Gen AI, we're able to see unstructured data that is captured in the form of text, burn down charts, anything that you have got, meeting recordings, everything has become a source of intelligence for the managers to process. So AI is able to convert the raw data into a kind of actionable intelligence for the managers to do things faster, better, and highly efficiently. So that's the beauty. Now, quickly, we have the next poll coming up. So there is a poll right on your screen. So on an average, how much time do you spend managing tools versus actually managing intelligence or decisions? If you're a manager, you can very well answer this question. So what do you think is your problem or
I
your
think a lot
option?
of developers will also, developers as well as QA engineers will relate to it, because
True.
in a day-to-day in and out, I think we also deal with a lot of tools. As you said, Jira updates are one of the major crux of every developer. I think the developer and tester community as a whole does not like Jira and updates as much.
At one point of time, my developer used to tell this, like what you see in Avatar movies, if there is a dictation tool at the end of the day, just to provide an update, that will be great instead of typing it in multiple screens. Good. Last 30 seconds for this poll. Again, two options are slowly, gradually becoming winners here. Shared opinions here. Good. I'll close the poll. Almost 50% of the people feel that 90% tools and 10% intelligence. Okay. So that's the message that we are getting. Who is that Ravi special? That Ravi we are going to talk about. The world famous project manager or ALM manager who tries to manage everything on a single day. We'll talk about Ravi in the next slide. 50-50 balance got around 40 percentage votes. I'm surprised that still people are able to balance tools and intelligence, which is good to see. But yeah, they agree that it's painful, no doubt about it. Nice. And 12% have mentioned like I don't manage tools, the tools manage me. No doubt, boss. Oh, I completely agree with you. So good. Now moving on, let's talk about Ravi, the manager who is playing a very, very successful role managing the complete ALM cycle. Let me introduce you to Ravi. Ravi is not a fictional character. Ravi lives amongst us. He's statistically present in this webinar, I would say. And in fact, I'll put it this way, the way Ravi works, okay, the moment he starts the day, he asks for the release readiness update. Ravi just opens the laptop at 9 a.m., of course, with a coffee or breakfast on one side and sips a coffee and then asks like, hey, Ravi, can you just share the readiness status? Somebody pings. And obviously, the release readiness exists somewhere. And Ravi has to find it out whether it is in Jira or Git or CA logs or QA dashboards, or is it with somebody? He has to make a call and find out, but definitely not in one place. But still, Ravi will say confidently at 9 o'clock that, yes, sir, I'm working on it. Don't worry, I'll get back to you by another 20 minutes. But it goes up to the end of the day where Ravi stretches in the office and does things. 10:30, the normal problem for Ravi is to manually pull Jira reports. Now export all the Jira reports, export it to Excel, adjust the filters, reformat the columns, remove the duplicate rows, clean the entire data, add some conditional formatting, and then Ravi comes to the conclusion what has happened with the project. Of course, that makes Ravi an Excel expert, no doubt about it. He knows every pivot table shortcut, but he does not actually know the actual risk status. That's exactly the tool problem, where intelligence is lacking, tool is taking a priority here. 12 o'clock, of course, the QA team will not keep quiet. They would have come at 10 o'clock in the morning, started testing the programs. They log the defects, they escalate the defect. And just when the spreadsheet is looking beautiful with Ravi's preparation, formatting, and stuff, QA escalates the late defect, severity high, the entire leadership is copied in that mail thread. And obviously, the Ravi has to sacrifice his lunch and start looking at how to fix this particular problem. And 3 p.m., of course, the leaders are there to ask for the risk assessment to find out whether everything is going well. What's the release risk exposure, Ravi? That question, Ravi has to find out answers from 10 different reports. He has velocity charts, defect count, burn down graphs, everything. But what he does not have is the predictive insight.
Yeah.
So he gives what I generally call it as a confident approximation. In a way, this is Ravi hallucinating at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, talking about what the project status is. And of course, the diplomatic answer, it looks manageable. That's a common problem. 5 o'clock, he consolidates everything. The spreadsheet consolidation continuously happens. 3 different Excel files, 2 dashboards, 4 different team stat, and one confused expression. That's always a problem with Ravi because in traditional ALM, data is everywhere. Data flows horizontally in a way, but insight is not flowing. Intelligence is not coming out. That is a common problem. So 8 p.m., while Ravi tries to leave office, still there is no clear visibility of what's happening with this project. He has numbers, charts, color codes, and everything. But what Ravi does not have is a clear visibility of what's happening in the project. The entire ALM, where things are going wrong, is it in the requirement? Is it in the code? Where exactly things are going wrong? Ravi does not have a knowledge. And every stage, there is a problem. Now, do you see Ravi in you? Do you see Ravi in your team? That's exactly the problem. So we do not want to give Ravi another dashboard in the name of AI, in the name of predictive insights. We want Ravi to have access to a system that tells him that, hey, look, this BA cycle, the business analyst is taking so much time. I can help you to get this job done faster. The coding pilot, I can give you something which will help the developer to do things faster. You need not worry about it. That's where Ravi will proactively see the risk. He will start managing team, he will start managing agents, which will give him much better work. That's exactly the difference between the tool management and the intelligence management that we have been talking about. So do you want to be the Ravi of 2010 or do you want to be Ravi of 2026? So that's the difference that we can bring across or AI can bring across to you to create that significant impact in this entire life cycle. Yeah, moving on, Shraddha.
Thank you. So what AI-powered ALM really means? Now, we have talked a lot about tools, staggered data. So a lot of times what leader interpret this is AI, another tool on top of it. No, that's not what we really need. And at ACL, we do not even encourage that. Now, use AI not as a fancy dashboard or another tool on top of your existing tool or a completely new different application where you have to again feed all this information. No, it doesn't mean that. AI in ALM has to be more seamless. It does not have to be another burden on top of your existing application. Now, think about Jira. Do you need another fancier Jira with a shinier user interface? No, you need an AI that seamlessly blends into. So imagine the entire life cycle, a day in the life of Ravi. Now, Ravi doesn't need fancier things on top of what he's actually doing. He just needs the right amount of data, right information to be all pulled out of these tools, given to him, and something that can continuously assist, right? So from recording activities to enabling decisions, that's what Ravi wants. He wants to learn from historical information. Let's say he finds a bug report. Has he seen the similar bug reports before and how fast the team did work on it? Now that's where AI comes. Ravi may or may not remember everything, what has been done in the past, but AI definitely will. That's where AI in ALM is not replacing humans or not replacing the existing tools. It has to be a seamless blend of existing information, existing tools, and on top of it, there has to be an AI layer that just seamlessly understands everything and then powers Ravi in his day-to-day work. Now, Ravi can be a manager, he can be a developer, he can be a QA engineer or a DevOps engineer throughout. Lakshmi, do you have anything else to add to that?
No, what you said is absolutely right, Shraddha. So it's not about adding one more tool, one more platform for the ALM manager to manage, the project manager to do. It's all about assisting them, improving the productivity of the ALM manager so that the entire life cycle of the ALM comes down. A significant improvement. That's what we are trying to achieve here. Okay. Yep. We'll continue.
So where and what technologies power AI in ALM. Now, when we talk about what technologies right at the top of our heads, we do always think, these days at least, Gen AI. But is Gen AI a solution for everything? Yes, you can use Gen AI for everything, but when we think about cost versus the ROIs, we have to think about a little broader perspectives of AI, what AI means. AI also means machine learning, where you have continuous defect probability based on your past data, effort estimates, and risk assumptions. All that, definitely, you have machine learning. When you have tabular structured data, go with machine learning. More places where you need document generation, identifying patterns which you have not seen before. When you have tons of unstructured data and you want to work with that, Gen AI is the piece where you want to go. Coming to a little more on the side of NLP, that's natural language processing. That's when you already have set, let's say, you want to identify certain set of ideas. Let's say you pull a Jira story out, your history from Jira, and then basically you have to identify certain set of defects that you want to do. There is a lighter, more efficient, quicker layer of natural language processing, let's say, that can drive insight from your tickets, of your Jira tickets, analyze the requirements in clarity, get more of who has done what. Let's say how many tickets have been raised, how many bugs have been raised in the name of Ravi, for that matter. It can definitely do that. Then you have advanced analytics that is more on the prediction, probabilities. That's where you go. And then you have automation framework, robotics automation that, so this is complete, is what we are talking about AI. AI is not always Gen AI. We have to think about more efficient ways to get things done. Lakshmi or Nikita, do you have anything else to add to this before we move on?
Good, yeah, yes. So what you mentioned is absolutely right. So it was only AI at the beginning with generative AI, automation, everything coming together. This becomes a solid foundation for future. So that's the message here. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to next. We are coming up on to another poll.
Yep, launching it. There is a poll on your screen. Which AI-powered capability would actually change your life tomorrow? Is predicting defect probability before they happen? Maybe as a QA person, you might love it. Auto-generating text from a screen capture? AI identifying requirement conflicts before coding starts? Or an AI that answers my BA-related questions so I don't have to? I come from the functional background. I would love to take the fourth option if I am able to select it. Of course, our biases, our roles in the team determine what our options are. And in the meantime, Manjunath, please post your question in the Q&A. We will take your question at the end. I can see your hand going up. 20 seconds to complete the poll. Great. Now, the poll results are like this. 43% believe that AI identifying requirement conflicts before the coding starts. Excellent. That would do a lot of justice to the entire ALM cycle because the karma can be caught in the very first stage, isn't it? Before we start developing everything basis the document. So that's the topmost answer. The second popular answer is predicting defect probability before they happen. 30% believe that would help them. Excellent. Yes. Good. Now that brings us to the next slide where we will talk a bit about how the productivity improvement happens with GenAI powered ALM. So if you notice, what Shraddha explained to you was the entire platform, how it can bring some good improvement in your entire cycle. Now let me talk about some numbers here, which will give you a broad idea of what is happening in the market. Okay. So if you look at it, the 40% faster efficiency would be driven with AI-driven analysis, refinement, documentation, and completeness check. I'll take an example for you to understand what we mean by this. Let's say, for example, you are a business analyst. You're sitting with a product owner or a customer, and you're trying to understand the requirements. Many times the problem is when the product owner gives the requirement, for the product owner, it is common sense what they're explaining to the business analyst. But for a business analyst, many cases that I've seen in my experiences, the SMEs are not there. If the person is an SME, well and good. If the SME is not there, then obviously the kind of questions that they miss out will be on the higher side. Now, just imagine you have a BA co-pilot, a business analyst co-pilot, which will be sitting with you in your Teams call, in your Zoom call with the customer. And when you're asking some question to the customer, the product owner, it's going to pop up and suggest few more questions which you can ask in the direction so that it can capture your functional, technical, and non-functional requirements. And once the meeting is over, once you have been prompted and you have asked all the questions to the customer or the product owner, you document everything. The entire recording is available. Can I convert that recording into the BRD or a functional specification document? I can do that with the help of GenAI today. In fact, we have developed a solution. We'll be giving you a demo shortly on how it is being done. So by doing this, we can improve the productivity by 40%. In fact, I can even do a check on whether the requirements are complete or not. The product owner would have had a vision about what he wants from the solution. Now, this requirement doesn't capture everything. I can do a delta check, a gap analysis, and give you that report. That is also possible today in this AI-driven ALM cycle. Now, once the requirements are prepared and given to the design, solution architect, and the developer, the solution architect can use GenAI for quickly doing the documentation and also getting some assistance around how to do the design with the best design principles. And then the developer productivity can be improved with AI-assisted coding, code reviews, and the contextual guidance. In fact, in ACL, we are in the process of developing our own ACL SWAM. Already we are using it as a pilot. And we are seeing some 25% increase in the developer productivity by bringing GenAI to assist you in this part of the life cycle. So a coding snippet generator, a code quality checker, commenting on the code, and doing a reverse check completely. That's something I can do entirely with the help of this process. So developer productivity improves here. The third one is quality assurance. Now, this is where most of the defects are caught. Already I'm using GenAI at every stage to ensure that the completeness of the requirements development is everything there with respect to the initial set of requirements. Now here, can I use AI to generate the test cases? Can I use AI to generate the test plan, test strategy, test cases, test scripts, the entire process, including the API testing? If I use that, I can do 37% faster test case generation and 42%, 60% improvement in the API testing. So that's the power of GenAI here. And of course, I can use superior code quality with code analytics to do the reverse engineering of mapping the requirement with the code and then find out whether there are any defects there. So requirement traceability as well as defect detection, I can do it easily there. And overall, if I use all these aspects, the release readiness becomes easier for you. So the accelerated release readiness from intelligent risk assessment and automated traceability is a easier benefit coming out of this entire outcome. And just imagine Ravi, the ALM manager, the product manager, the project manager, the engineering manager is able to use GenAI across all these stages. Do you see that impact? Do you see the significant productivity investment or improvement? That's exactly what every engineering manager aspires to have. And that's exactly what AI can do for you as a manager. So moving on, Shraddha, over to you. You have to unmute yourself. Sorry, Shraddha. Yeah. Oh, sorry, you're still. No, not it.
Hello. Am
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
audible?
Yeah,
Sure.
go ahead.
Please share. Okay. Thank you. As Lakshmi highlighted, there are various ways an AI can assist. Thanks, Lakshmi, for making my life easier by giving a lot of introduction. So as he said, at the discovery phase, we are working with a BA, ACL BA Assist, which is smart enough to work with you with your BAs or your product program managers, sitting along with your client, taking requirements, working with the BAs, mentoring them if the AI sees there are any gaps that has the BA missed or the stakeholders have not discussed. It does highlight, and so it does prompt for a better discovery phase. It helps the system to generate better stories. Test case generation, traceability is far better. Then at the development stage, as he said, now a lot of times you're not always working from scratch, right? Development always doesn't start with creating something new. These days we're saying because the ecosystem is changing so fast, you have a legacy system, you're moving and creating it, moving your existing code base into a newer technology. That's where AI can assist your developers. It can help you to refactor legacy codes, moving into a newer infrastructure or scaling up. You have an older version, converting into a more better version, creating a more secured code as along with the developers. Now, it can work as a code reviewer automator. You can create your initial layer when you do a PR pull. When the code gets submitted, you want to ideally an architect or somebody sits, understands the change process, what has been changed, what hasn't. It takes a lot of time, effort, energy, and details. That's where even AI can come in. It can give you a delta of what has been changed versus what was expected, gives a quick rundown for your architects so they can just dive deeper into that, whether it actually aligns. Then it does help a lot into the documentation. Here you can use Gen AI to create your own format of documentation or your change release cycles and everything. It does help you there. Coming to the test assistant, same thing. Now it is better equipped to create life cycles, test cases, traceability between development and testing, what has been tested, what hasn't been tested, then creating test cases from your user screens or screen grabs of your application, creating detailed test scripts as well. All that can be helped. Now, thinking on the lines of DevOps, it understands when you're going for deployment. It can understand if there are any dependencies from the existing code that is already in production, identify if there is a dependency conflicts, and it can also solve it. It can create automated release notes and stuff. So that's a lot of places that AI is going to help, and we are working towards in that direction. Lakshmi, do you want to add anything, or shall we move on in the interest of time?
We can move on, Shraddha. Yeah.
Thank you. So now a favorite thing. Next poll, if you can launch. This would be more, where do you see AI helping you in your ALM journey?
Poll is on your screen. Quick 20 seconds more for you to complete the poll. Good. So I think we have got some interesting responses. 38% feel that end-to-end traceability is one place where they would like to use AI. The second spot goes to two other heroes here. One is the testing and QA, the other one is the requirement discovery. Both have got 23% each, and I completely can relate to it. End-to-end
Yeah.
traceability is still a problem that all of us are trying to fix, and Jenny is definitely helping us out there. Testing QA requirements, exactly these are the areas where we believe that AI can create impact. Yeah, back to you, Shraddha, just to
Thank
complete
you.
this.
Now, moving on, we have given you enough intro of what ALM, how AI can solve. Now it's time to show you what we are already doing. I will hand over to Nikita and Lakshmi from here onwards for our live demos. First, you is our BA Copilot or ACL's BA Copilot that assists a business analyst to identifying from requirements to creating user stories. I would quickly switch to a better screen so it's presented better. Give me a second.
So with our experience with two or three customers in the last 2 months, we have developed this particular solution. So the requirement is very simple. How can we convert every documented intelligence, be it a video recording or be it a PRD or be it an Excel sheet, anything that you have got as a kind of a requirement? If you're sharing it across, can I use it as a knowledge base and convert it? That's where this VA Copilot comes in. Nikita will walk us through. Yeah, Nikita, over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Lakshmi Narayan and Shraddha. So we have got a gist about what BA Copilot is. So we have multiple agents working over here for each and every task. So here, the very first one, it is a BA mentor. You can ask your questions like, how do I do a particular thing? Or to extract the requirements from a particular document which has been uploaded. So on the left, we can see the documents as well, which are like BRD document, SRS document, again, which are generated from the requirements. Yes. This is a communication hub. So this one helps you write your emails, generate the presentation. It can auto summarize a lot of things for you, and it can generate the stakeholder reports as well. The input is just a simple document which you can fit in. This is a BA mentor mode wherein you are being assisted, a junior BA is being assisted. So consider I am a junior BA and I don't know how to write a business requirement document. So here, come over here, ask a question and you will be getting the response. So here, how to start with the work as a BA. And yeah, you have the response, what all you need to do, how you can proceed. Yes.
Yeah, it gives a detailed map where it's not definitely that your BA is an experience, but sometimes it's just becomes an assistant. It just guides you various processes. You may be able to miss a few things here and there, and this assistant will actually just prompt you for more questions. Hey, would you follow up this? Maybe you would want to get more answers from your stakeholder on so and so topic. So that's the kind of conversation the BA assistant does. So Nikita can we move on to the next one?
Yes, we can. Yes, yeah.
Okay. So that's about this. We have another use case that we are currently developing. It's on the test case generator. Nikita, over to you.
Again, an interesting solution which we have built recordings from their product owner to sit down and write the test cases. These test cases can be inconsistent as each and every QA engineer do have different experience. It is time consuming and there is a loss of productivity. Hence, we have built a solution and you have this granular level of test cases generated for you. So, yeah. Wait a second.
Yes, yeah.
And one of this particular solution is have the computer understand what's on the screen and then connect it to the
Yes.
audio. And you're able to bring the synchronous understanding of what's happening on the screen and what's being told, and then generate test cases basis that. So that's something which is a specialty of this one, bringing multiple areas of AI into one solution.
Yeah.
So Lakshmi, you're saying this solution can understand images, videos, as well as and plug them together. So I could be just explaining how my user interface looks, what features I want to be tested, and the AI will understand and actually create test cases out of it. Is it?
Yes, Shraddha. Let's take a small example, the BA Copilot that you just demoed. If you take that video and upload it across, or you record the entire one, and then say that this is how the BA Copilot is going to work, these are the features of it. This solution is smart enough to understand the complete context, the image, the video, as well as the audio. And then from there, it can generate the test cases, positive and negative scenarios, and then it will be able to generate the test scripts from it. So it's as intelligent as it can be.
Yeah. And honestly, yes, I've been in the initial phases where we had to sit with the product owners, sit with the test engineers, development engineers, and that's how it works. So definitely I do see a huge gain in productivity with this tool. Now all my stakeholders, all they have to do is review this, add anything that's missing, and voila, we have a huge asset at our hand with the team. I think now I'm going to stop the presentation mode of this, and I would want to go back to our Q&A section. Lakshmi, over to you.
Thank you. So I request all the participants to put across their questions in the Q&A session, Q&A forum. I can see 4 questions. Shraddha, Nikita, and me will take those questions for you. First question is from Adil. Requirements still are heavily driven by business users. So how would AI know if these would be valid or not? Good point, Adil. For one of our healthcare customers in Bangalore, so in their GCC, this was one of the precise requirements that they had. So they wanted AI to generate ideas. Let's say, for example, you have an idea about a particular solution. You believe that you want to scale it up to a full-scale solution with just an idea. Now, this BA Copilot kind of a tool has the feature ability to advise you, suggest you, and then build those features along with you. Now, AI can precisely tell you what would be a valid requirement, not a valid requirement in this context, depending on what your idea is, who is the target segment, what is the problem you're trying to solve. An intelligent agent to help you get an idea about the complete problem that you're trying to solve, and then document it in the form of a good BRD or FSD. That's how this entire Copilot works. I hope that answers your question, Atul.
And to add a single point to that, AI is never meant to replace a human. It's only to augment it. So a human is still there to review everything. It just, AI makes their life a little more easier.
Valid point. So I've got a question from Aruna now. Thanks for this interesting topic. My question, if in case there are many teams, say team A and team B is using this AI in ALM approach and get work done quickly. And what if in case team B is dependent on team A that's still in static or traditional ALM? How to improve inter-team collaboration with AI in ALM? Is it necessary to have our dependent teams as well as to be enforced to this AI in ALM approach, or not necessary? How that will be handled? Good question, Aruna. So we will keep it very simple. The team that uses this, they're going to see the productivity improvement. If there is another team which is not using this, they can still continue with the traditional ALM. Of course, efficiency is not that great, but it's not like you have to make it mandatory for everyone to adopt this. Depending on certain constraints, requirements for the customer, they may work independently. But inter-team collaboration, when we talk about it, it's more about what kind of documents we are sharing with, what kind of collaboration that we are talking about. Still, it will work this way. That's why Shraddha's statement of human in the loop comes into picture. We are not trying to do end-to-end automation completely with the help of a machine here, with the help of an agent here. All we are trying to do is the entire life cycle of ALM, we are trying to bring AI into it to do things faster, assisting the human to do things faster, to be more precise. So it's still the humans who are in the complete loop, who are getting things done. So the inter-team collaboration will happen as it is, as of today. Just that the other team would take 4 weeks for them to do it. Your team may be taking around 2 weeks or 10 days to complete the work quickly. So that's the difference. So that says the synchronous nature, you have to bring it across in the real world. The agent may not be able to help you there. Good. And Shraddha, Nikita, feel free to add in whenever you would like to share anything.
Yeah.
So I'm just, in the interest of time, I'm just running through the questions. So don't mind, please. So Somnath has a question. So we have started using Gen AI in our SDLC or ALM. Do you have any way to track the KPIs so that we can measure the productivity improvement? And also the data helps drive continuous improvement in the ALM hall or ACLC process. Yes, Somnath. So our the way we compute the KPI and the ROI and the progress productivity improvement is very simple. Before AI, how do you do the process? What are the steps involved? Each step, how much time you are taking it? What is the volume of transactions that you do throughout the process? How much time you're going to take in each one? Convert them into time, and then FTE, and then the dollar cost. And then post AI implementation, the same process, how is it going to be done? How many steps you are able to cut it down? And in each step, how much efficiency improvement you're bringing it across in terms of time saved, and then convert it to number of hours, FTE, and then the dollar savings that you're bringing to the table. That's how we are measuring it, Somnath. So you have to look at the time taken for each step by practically measuring with the help of the process tools. Okay, that's how we do it.
Yeah, and to add to another point, what we often, if this implementation with the help of AI is not complete, let's say at every point, apart from measuring how much it takes time with and without AI, but remember, when you are putting AI into the process, always remember to feed the right amount of data, the right kind of data, so that AI can bring you meaningful productivity and not some gibberish. Lakshmi has a code that he keeps pulling around in the team is garbage in, garbage out. So if you don't feed AI the right quality and quantity of data, your output may not be as impressive, how much ever powerful AI or language model or any other system that you use. So that's one key point I would tell to bring enhancement, real productivity gain with AI. Let's say for requirement gathering, always remember to add the right amount of information to AI plus your own input in terms of what do you want out of AI.
Absolutely. So Sumit asks the next question. Where did you get the document which you used to extract the requirements? Was it directly given by the client? Could you please clarify? Good point, Sumit. In this case, what we have used is something which is a kind of a abstract document from the internet that we have used across, publicly available one. And honestly, in a real world project, when you use it across for a customer, with the consent of the customer to use AI, we capture the entire recordings and everything. And then we use those documents as an input to this tool, wherever the Gen AI is applicable. That's how we do it in the real world. Okay. Aruna has a question, video to test case generator. What if in case the end result is not up to mark? Then do we need to redo from step one like BA Copilot to redo the requirement citing? May not be, Aruna. So what we need to do here is, it's all about training the people on recording the right ones. So any change that you're bringing in will involve process and technology change. While you're talking about AI adoption, Gen AI adoption on the ALM side, the moment you build the entire platform using Gen AI, the one that we are doing now, maybe down the lane in 3 to 4 months, we'll be having a webinar around the entire platform where end-to-end automation of ALM would happen. Now here, you need to bring some process changes also into the picture. You need to guide the people, train the people on how to use, how to record the entire videos, and then give it across in the right format. That bit of training has to be provided. If that is done, then the entire output will be perfect. If there are challenges here, you just need to take that particular data which is being fed in, that quality has to be improved. I'll park it there for now because obviously the complexity of the requirements and everything will come into picture when we are answering this question. Okay.
And another piece that we all have to remember is have human in the loop. At various stages, we may think it's all giving good answers for a few initial tries, but always human oversight is needed at each step that you are walking in any stage of your ALM journey.
So Sumit has one more question: how to navigate requirements from regulated industries, keeping security guardrails in mind? Sumit, we are part of Alten, where we deal with engineering customers day in, day out, and the common requirement is we can't be on cloud. Is there a way that we can do on-prem, or is there a way we can do it in private cloud? Is there a way that you can do it with a small language model? So these are all the common questions. So whatever we presented to you can be done in a small level with a relatively less accuracy if you're doing it on-prem, because the models have certain constraints. But technically, whatever that we showed you is very much possible in the regulated industry too. In fact, one of my first projects was in the healthcare segment, and to be precise, pharma side. So we are able to do that with specific guardrails in the application. So very much possible, Sumit. Now moving on, Surya has a question: how does this solution integrate with or complement an environment where we already use Jira? Surya, this can be integrated with as a plugin with Jira. So it would not come out as a additional platform. That's our goal too. So we want to keep it as tool agnostic. Today you may be using Jira, tomorrow you may be switching to Azure DevOps. So whatever tool maybe you may be using, this can work independently and plug in back to the respective tools where you're using, so that you don't have multiple interfaces for the customer and the adoption becomes easier. That's our thought process too. Okay, Priyanka has a question. For QA test case generator, what should be the content of the video? Can it be the requirement from BA or it has to be the user stories? Priyanka, both can be there, your BRD or your test strategy, or anything that you believe as a human would use to prepare the test cases. You can have the entire knowledge base created and given across. It can be video, it can be the BRD, it can be in any format. Okay. And the agents that we are creating are smart enough to decode that and create test cases out of it. Okay. Sorry, folks, I'm just quickly running through Shraddha and Nikita, don't mind.
Yeah,
So
no problem.
Vikram has a question: what's your framework for deciding which ALM stages should be AI augmented versus AI autonomous or versus human only? Excellent question, Vikram. I always say this: any AI solution, if you take it, AI is only predicting at the end of the day. The prediction has to be judged. Okay, so prediction plus judgment, the human judgment coming into picture becomes an action. So when you ask AI to act directly, that's when it becomes autonomous. That means you are saying that prediction is 100% or close to 100% accuracy, where I can trust the data system. So I will ask it to act directly without my human judgment in the loop. Now you decide what is the prediction accuracy. If the accuracy is very low, it's only human only approach you will take. If the accuracy is good enough, but you just want to validate whether everything is still going well, closer to 99%, you want to train it over a period of time, that's when you go for AI augmented. The moment it crosses a certain critical accuracy, you make it autonomous. That's how the entire process works, Vikram. Okay. So Shivani has a question: how reliable is AI in reducing false positives or false negatives test cases in automated testing? Excellent question, Shivani. It all boils down to how well we train the model. We have certain techniques that are available for us to train the model to generate the right false positives and false negatives test cases. It's all about what knowledge base you're creating for this entire solution to be deployed. So sitting with the QA, in fact, we have Tessie as a platform that we have developed on the ACL side. So it carefully takes care of this false positives and false negatives as part of this ALM cycle. So Somnath has a question: one challenge we have is tribal business knowledge, which is a roadblock for quality test case generation. Do you have any solution around it, or are you planning to leverage process mining solutions like Signavio or Celonis, etc., to convert operational insights into structured test cases? Good question, Somnath. That's in the plan down the lane. We need to use process mining tools to understand the requirements better and then generate test cases properly. That's down the lane, we'll be doing it. But you rightly pointed out, tribal business knowledge, anything which is not documented cannot be the knowledge base for Gen AI. That's a simple moral of the story. And that's where I mean, I always say this, our intelligence is a function of the exposure, experience, and the knowledge that we carry. Gen AI or AI is also carrying the exposure, carrying the intelligence, which is directly proportional to the exposure, that is the documented intelligence that you're giving it to it. Same logic applies there. Hemant has a question. While providing the
Lakshmi,
prompt to the yeah, Shraddha.
let me a quick time check. We are 7 minutes past our actual time.
Yeah,
So,
last two questions, last one question, I would say. So I'll just quickly take it and close it. Hemant, while providing the prompt to the AI model, what are the major factors we should keep in mind? Good question, Hemant. So this is a secret recipe of any Gen AI solution, I would say. So how do you design the prompt template? The tribal knowledge, what Somnath was talking about, are you bringing your experience in designing the right template, right prompt template that you're creating so that the right output is generated? Your deeper understanding of the subject, your deeper understanding of the process would help you to create the right prompt templates for you. And remember that the user query that people are typing in the BA Copilot or any tool that you have seen versus the prompt that goes into the LLM, they are not the same. So we bring some secret recipe in between to ensure that the models are giving you the right output, playing around with the model parameters and other aspects. So that is something which you gain from experience, Hemant, when you start building such solutions. Okay. And last question from Nurul. How is AI-powered ALM different from simply integrating AI tools like Rovo or GitHub Copilot into existing platforms like Jira or GitHub? Shraddha, would you like to take it?
Yeah, definitely. So any AI plugin that comes into any of your existing tool, does it actually interact beyond that ecosystem? Let's say you have a Copilot plugin. Yes, but does it really interact with your requirements or traceability metrics? It most probably does not unless you explicitly give information. Second piece is any existing tools that you're using, either GitHub or Jira, all of them, they have their own ecosystem of what language models they are using. Plus, they have their own updates on what models they want to release it to you, what ones they want to keep back. Tomorrow, any of these LLMs change. Do you really have control over them? Maybe, may not be. Third is, however secure you may think your AI is, there could always be a leak because somebody else is designing it for you. Can you 100% be accurate that your corporate policies are 100% replicated or copied on? All your guardrails that your organization wants have been implemented into these tools or the AI plugins that they are providing. There's always that gray area. That's where if you have answered all these questions, you will be able to better understand whether to go with an existing plugin of these tools or create a unified layer where you have more control over how your data is used, who can see what data, and what models do you want to use, anything that's available in your private cloud or a publicly available LLM, but secure channels, or you want to work with on-premise if you are more concerned about data. So I think that's more on, it's a mix of business plus security question of how much secure environments you need and how well integrated ecosystem you need for your ALM journey. If a complete integration is not your priority, you can definitely go ahead with the pre-existing tools. Otherwise, unified ALM platform is something that you should go for. I think that's all, Lakshmi, isn't it?
Yes, Shraddha.
Okay. I will hand over to Rujita. Thank you. Thanks, team. Rujita, you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you, Shraddha. Thank you, team. With that, we come to the end of today's insightful session. Thank you so much, Lakshmi, Shraddha, and Nikita again for the valuable insights and knowledge sharing. A big thank you to all our participants for joining us today and making this webinar a success. We truly appreciate your time and engagement, and we look forward to hosting you again in our future sessions. So have a wonderful evening ahead.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all.